Speaking of Major League business, let's talk about Major League Baseball stadiums. This has gone on and on and on and on and on and on. Tampa Bay does not support a very good franchise, the Tampa Bay Rays. They've had a terrible situation at Tropicana Field, playing in the Suncoast Dome, old erector set stadium. It's really lousy. They have tried really hard to come up with financing in Tampa for a stadium and land acquisition, have not been able to do it. It looked hopeless in St. Petersburg. Now there appears to be a light at the end of the tunnel. Evidently, the Sternberg ownership of the Tampa Rays has agreed that they would finance the building of a new baseball stadium. It'd be 32,000 maybe, 27,000 maybe, but it would be built on the other side of the bridge in St. Petersburg. And then St. Petersburg is going to use all types of grant money to try to come up to develop all the ancillary land around the stadium. In today's modern day sports, John, you build a stadium, but you build a lot of business stuff around it, whether that's hotels, whether that's office buildings, etc. So it looks as if Steven Sternberg has made progress by talking to St. Petersburg after striking out in Tampa, talking about, I'll pay for the stadium. You develop the infrastructure and we'll share the profits to make it work. So they're making progress there. In Oakland, it's a destitute financial city. It's a calamity. They've made no progress at all. There have been all types of threats. A's might move, maybe Las Vegas. The owner, John Fisher in Oakland, continues to have dialogue with the new mayor, but that does not mean there's any money in the till in the city of Oakland for that. Hell, they can't pave their potholes. They can't pay their teachers and their hospitals and everything. How's they going to fund a baseball stadium? It's just an economically depressed area, despite the heritage of athletics baseball. They are negotiating with the Las Vegas Fairgrounds, and they are negotiating with Tropicana for stadium land adjacent to the hotels.
Oh, wow.
But at the end of the day, John Fisher and the A's are not going to be gifted a stadium like the Raiders were. They're going to have to pay for a chunk of it. They've talked extensively about paying for a stadium in Oakland, but the city of Oakland and Alameda County has never come up with the financing for that harbor district, which would build hotels and build office buildings and build housing and condominiums. Because it's a business thing, is you got to build all this other stuff to make the stadium viable. So that's where we are now. I think the Tampa deal gets done first. I don't know where the Oakland deal is going to wind up. And, out there on the periphery, and you and I have really not talked about this at all yet, and we will in our podcast, is these other markets that want Major League Baseball. Nashville's been really, really progressive. Montreal, although they don't have a baseball stadium, they still have the old Olympic Stadium, but Montreal is a exploding economic marketplace in French Canada. Portland has talked. Charlotte has talked about regional franchises and stadiums. So I think Tampa's going to get done. Maybe fans will support it if it's on the St. Petersburg side of the bridge. Oakland, to me, just looks hopeless. And on the field, they look hopeless. They look like a AAA ball club because ownership has refused to spend money. So it's a bad situation with Oakland A's baseball.
Yeah, it is. It's a shame. I mean, because the A's have had a great history there in Oakland and won 4 World Series, right, during their time there. My understanding with Oakland was that they had the money. The A's had the money for the stadium. They were just in a scrum with the city about what land they were going to use. And there were a lot of disagreements about the land there. But Oakland is just a great city. And it's kind of going through its own renaissance right now, particularly with, all the wealth that's just pouring into the Bay Area. Oakland is experiencing some of that. So I'm kind of rooting for them to find a way. But it's not looking good. As far as Tampa goes, I'm still just always surprised that all the retired people in Florida don't just flock to the games because they're Yankee fans and Cubs fans that are retired in Florida. Why are they not season ticket holders for the Tampa Rays?
I agree with you. And in fact, when baseball expanded way back in the day and they gave us the Florida Marlins, now the Miami Marlins, and then they went to Tampa, I thought crown jewels. As you say, melting pot of people from everywhere. The whole Northeast spends a chunk of the season there. But then you realize summer weather in Tampa, summer weather in Miami, just a bit sultry. So therefore, it's not Red Sox fan, Yankee fan, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
just because you're outside and the elements are horrible. Uh, Cheap ownership has hurt a great deal. Miami won the World Series once upon a time and then promptly tore the thing up and became a small market team and has never, ever recovered from that. Tampa has always been developmental, small market, small budget. They got a budget of $66 million this year, Tampa. But historically, they've always done well developing players in the farm system. So the markets that I thought, including the Hispanic market of Miami, I thought would just go crazy over Marlins baseball. Has not happened at all. In Tampa, it's even happened less, despite the fact that the Rays have had good teams. So I guess you and I are both uneducated about that geography because I thought it was going to be a hit and it hasn't been.
Well, what's interesting about both the A's and the Rays is that even though they're small market teams, their management is very savvy and they've found ways to beat the system, but they can only do it for a short period of time. And then they have to blow up the model and then start all over. So you got to give credit to those guys for, because the general managers and the baseball manager, they can't control all the economics. They can only control what they put on the field and they find a way. So, Billy Beane, another San Diego guy, he's done it in Oakland.
Use the word blow up. That goes to the next topic.